Yo, welcome back to another episode of Action Figure Junkie. And today, I'm gonna talk about that Strange Tales wave that we got coming around October, so our Halloween shelves can be nice and beefy. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So, right now, we've got Marvel's Dracula, Brother Voodoo, Damon Hellstrom, Bloodstorm, Marvel's Lilith, Helverine or Weapon of Vengeance, and we have a whole nother Moon Knight coming. Okay, so a lot of these characters in this Strange Tales wave are spooky characters, so I figured I would go over some of my spooky characters. Some of the spooky characters that we have received so far. Despair. Despair is definitely comic book accurate. Can't remember what wave he was a part of. I actually think that he was a part of a Spider-Man wave, or was it? No, actually he was a part of one of the Doctor Strange movie waves. Yep, one of the Doctor Strange movie waves. And like his name would suggest, he makes you feel despair, or he feeds off of your despair. And you can see that he's probably somebody that Doctor Strange would have to deal with. You see the tattered cape. It's white, so you can see a couple of blemishes on him because it's white, so it's gonna draw smudges. But for the most part, he has double jointed elbows, double jointed knees, pins throughout, but that's not a problem because the colors are the same color as the action figure itself, so you can't really even see it. I like the nice red in the eyes to give you a little and it look like the almost like the skin is stretching on the lips here, on the mouth. It's almost like the skin is stretching. But this is a really good spooky type character, like a Strange Tales worthy character. They have Blackheart coming, and Blackheart, of course, was featured in one of the Ghost Rider movies. And so, of course, I have Johnny Blaze because recently we got Ghost Rider, and he was a single retro card, and I would like to see. I wonder why they don't do like waves. If you do a single, like a retro card of a character, why isn't there like, why don't they give Ghost Rider the same treatment that they give Spider-Man or the Fantastic Four or Iron Man when they do retro card, and when they drop something like this, they give us 5 or 6 characters from that book. Like, we could have, and if it was a Build-A-Figure wave, then we would have already had Blackheart probably by now. But this Ghost Rider is on point, which is why he is in my collection. The mandible moves so that he can scream as he's giving you the penance stare. And check it out. That is dope. That is dope. Or he could just mean mug you with the flaming skull. Now, of course, he has double jointed knees, double jointed elbows, pretty comic book accurate down to the belt and everything. Of course, we need the blue and lighter blue or blue and white, the older school version. I would also like to see a Carter Slade Ghost Rider with the horse, with the horse. I saw a customizer do that. I think this is One Oak Customs. Shout out to One Oak Customs. I saw him on Instagram and he had the Ghost Rider horse. And they're probably going to do a Venom horse because if you've seen the Venom trailer, The Last Dance of, the Venom 3, he venomizes a horse in the trailer, and that that scene is pretty fire. So we're probably going to see something like that in action figure form. And another spooky character that we have, or that I have in the collection, is Dormammu. Now I need the Build-A-Figure to this cat because the Build-A-Figure is just like him turned up to 11, and I need that on my shelf ASAP. But definitely to have Dormammu as a foil to Doctor Strange, because if we're talking Strange Tales, we gotta have Doctor Strange involved. But Dormammu was a pretty nice figure as well. Everything down to the boot cut, and they hide it very well. Down to the boot cut, double jointed knees, elbows. You've got the ab crunch, waist swivel. Everything that you need is there. And as far as him looking down or up, he looks up a lot more than he looks down, strictly because of the, he's got a head of flames. So if you got that behind the light, then you're going to get some nice little effects for your photos and whatnot. I actually lost, there's supposed to be like a crown right here around his face. And it is in one of my drawers somewhere probably. As many figures as I have, I'll have to reattach that on there. But yep, we've got Dormammu. Let's keep going with the magic characters here. Alright, we're getting a new one of this guy. Let's get him into focus. There we go. Moon Knight. Getting a new one of this guy. Of course, I did get the Walgreens. What was it, Walgreens or Walmart? One of the exclusives that they just recently dropped it. And I got it. I already had the MCU Moon Knight, and I wasn't really a big Moon Knight comic book reader, so Moon Knight actually owes what attention I pay him and respect I give him. Don't judge me, because there's people that didn't read the books that I read. So, but all of my respect for this character comes from the MCU version. I like that version as far as like the mummy wrappings engulfing him as he becomes Moon Knight. I thought that was dope. Oh, I thought that was so dope. That got me into the character a lot more than just an all white or a white and gold character with the moon, on his chest, and acts sort of like Batman and kind of has issues with his identity and whatnot. But like I said, what really got me into the character was the MCU version. And so the MCU version, they had this Build-A-Figure, and he is too tall to fully get in frame. Way too tall to really get in frame. Let's see, can I pull back? Yep, I can pull back. And there he is, Khonshu. Now, this was a good Build-A-Figure. I'm not really big on the MCU, but this Build-A-Figure was, after watching the series, and the series was fire. If you haven't checked it out, check it out on Disney Plus. This is definitely a good little watch for those episodes. But this Build-A-Figure can go in MCU or comic book display because it is the moon god Khonshu, which is the guy that Mark Spector makes a deal with and is in servitude to. So this Build-A-Figure was not all that hard to build because he was pretty well sought after. You got to be real careful with the articulation on Khonshu though, because head comes off pretty easily because they want this part to be translucent so it looks transparent, like the head is just levitating above the body. but altogether, this was a really good figure. Still is. He does his job. He stands over in the corner and bosses Mark Spector around, pretty much. Or the other 2 or 3 or 4 personalities that is in that body. Going next, I'm going to do double trouble on the magic characters, and we're going to go with lady and male Lokis. These are both versions of the same character. I did a little homework, and I guess at some point male Loki turns into female Loki and only does it for a little while and then goes back to being male Loki because comics. Yeah. Okay, but yeah, both of these, one is from the MCU, the other one is from the comic book. It's on the retro card. Of course, one is a female, one is a male. Both have capes because I did not like Loki without a cape, which is why I do not have the retro card Loki for a comic book. I need to get it. I know it, but this one does what I need it to do. It has the horns, has the cape, has the maniacal smile, has the classic outfit, green energy coming from his hands. Boom. That's what I needed. Same thing with Lady Loki. I needed her for the Cabal because that 3-pack is definitely in the can. And I got an email saying that it is coming in August instead of September. So basically all I have to do is get the right Namor and I'm there. The Cabal will be finished. So we got these 2 characters, which are, whoa, both the Lokis. Now let's go to another magic character. And this was also a Build-A-Figure. I don't really know that much about this character. Let's get him in focus here. Rentra. This was a Build-A-Figure from one of the Doctor Strange waves. And the only thing I can really say about this character is when I look at these feet, do you know what I think of? I think of, why have they not made Gorgon? Gorgon, the guy with the hoofed feet that when he kicks anything, he destroys it pretty much. The guy from the Inhumans. If they reverse engineer everything, if they are doing reuse of everything, then this means that we should get Gorgon sometime soon. I don't really know that much about Rentra. It looks pretty cool character. Green bull who stands on 2 feet. Tail is articulated. He's in a little magical robe. I think he got about 6.5 seconds of screen time in the actual movie with the Multiverse of Madness. He got about 6.5 seconds of screen time. So he's doing better than, well, actually he's not doing better than me. But yeah, moving right along. Moving right along, the next magic character that we have, because you already saw we have Blade right here because we have Dracula coming. We got Lilith coming. That Dracula is going to be fire. Everybody's going to put Blade against Dracula. I know they are. But I have a plan for this figure. I'm going to get another one. And I have a plan for this figure. And I'm not going to say anything until after I see whether or not it works. But yeah, we'll see in a minute. But this figure, man, they did their job on this figure because it gives you the Blade vibes that you're looking for. The red on the inside of the cape, the rolled up sleeves. Even though they should have gave us another head sculpt, this head sculpt suffices with the teeth, the glasses, the flak jacket. Everything about this screams Wesley Snipes Blade, but they just didn't use his likeness. And that's pretty much what everybody wants because that's who Blade is. I mean, they're still having issues with Mahershala Ali's Blade. How many directors have they dropped on that? Jesus Christ. I swear, it's just vampires. Everybody get it together. It's just vampires. It's not that hard. Next up on the magic train. let's go with Snowbird. Snowbird, Naira. I can't remember exactly how I'm pronouncing it. If I'm butchering her name, please let me know down in the comments. But this is Snowbird from Alpha Flight. And anybody who knows anything about this character knows that she transforms into different Arctic animals. She cannot leave the area of Canada, go too far out of Canada, or she loses her power, because she was conceived, made, concocted from magic in that Canadian area. So when she leaves, her body and everything starts to wither, because that is her strength, that area. So since she's a magic character, I made sure to break her out. Still one of my favorite characters, because one of my favorite sets was the Alpha Flight set. I know you've heard me on multiple episodes moan and complain about not having Marina. I will continue to moan and complain about not having Marina until we have Marina, because this is one of my favorite teams. And then moving right along, her teammate, another magic user. Had to put him in for honorable mention, of course, is your boy Shaman, or Shaman, however you pronounce it. Michael 2 Youngman. No one can look in his pouch or they will go insane. I think that Shaman can look in the pouch himself and grab things out. Anything he needs, he just visualizes it, grabs in the pouch and snatches it out the pouch. And there's a scene in one of the comics where someone actually was dumb enough to stare in that man's pouch, and they went insane right there and just dropped to the floor with their eyes rolled in the back of their heads, because they could not comprehend what they were seeing. So yeah, honorable mention. Still on an older buck. This is on the Bucky cap, but it works. It does work. I don't think that we'll get updates for Alpha Flight, which is why I'm waiting on Marina, because if we don't campaign for her, we probably won't get her, because Alpha Flight is a off team. It's like Guardians of the Galaxy before James Gunn. No one cared about him. No one cared about him. They have a small following who are very loyal, like myself, but that's pretty much it. Now moving on to the next magic user, somebody they just gave us recently who has major ties to Doctor Strange, will be Clea. Clea, who is Dormammu's niece. Okay, so let's bring her in. And they did a really good job with her. They did a really good job with her. And every time I see a female figure where they did a really good job and they were extra comic accurate and I'm all happy about the figure, do you know what I think of? How upset I am about that new Rogue figure in the articulation scheme, because that is also a figure that I was waiting on. So yeah, this is Clea, and I like to display her like so, sitting in midair on a flight stand using her power. And yeah, she's pretty dope. She's pretty dope. I liked everything that they did, down to the little circles on the legs. Good job. Good job. I have to get more Marvel handbooks so that I can put her through comic book accuracy tests, but I have seen lots of comics. I actually own a comic with her in this outfit. So I rocks with her. I rocks with her. Now keeping the ladies going, another magic user that we have, one of my favorites, is the Lady Amora, the Enchantress. And she has circles on legs too. I wonder what that is. Is that some type of thing with the ladies that have the magic circles on the legs? But they have a little cleavage, staying true to the actual outfit that she wore in the comics and in Secret Wars. Yep. And then, of course, this is an older face sculpt, but it is still a really good face sculpt. And she's really not that hard to stand up. Even though she has heels, she's not that hard to stand up, and I like that. I like that. That I can actually stand her up without a whole bunch of effort. That's what we want to be able to do. Now, also moving right along to the next person that is not so much a magic user as they are part of the occult because they had an accident that turned them into a living vampire, and that would be Michael Morbius. And this is a more modern look of Michael Morbius. We also have the 2-pack with Michael Morbius, and who is in that 2-pack? It's Michael Morbius in looking like the animated version though, but the living vampire, which is basically one of the only vampires I had until they announced that Dracula in Strange Tales. So they're starting to get more occult characters, which is why I did this video, to show the couple of occult characters that I have in my collection. Now this head sculpt is actually pretty fire though, with the hair and the red eyes, screaming with the teeth. Yeah, and so you get a bunch of head sculpts like this and put them on suited bodies, and then you got random vampires for Blade. But other than that, you just got the same Michael Morbius. He's got the tattered cape right here. He's got the clawed off hands and this whole weird belt thing going on. But once again, as I said before, look at that. Waist swivel, ab crunch. See that? That is the status quo. We make sure that the figure can be articulated, even if it breaks the aesthetic. Now, another Build-A-Figure. And this one was a big hit. A Build-A-Figure that is an army builder. Because these guys run around in packs, man. They run around in like, 5 and 6 and 10. It's not like you see one mindless one. When they come deep. But this was a good Build-A-Figure. I mentioned this in my Build-A-Figure review when I should have had my Build-A-Figure video where I did all of that. This one, just the texture of it and the posability of it, they did what they were supposed to. And this is completely different because this one has more ab crunch / rocker in the abs and no waist swivel, but that's fine because this is a bigger character and he's not supposed to be all extra athletic. He's big. He's a big boy. He's not supposed to be moving around like that. But they did a really good job. I don't know what rank this guy will get as far as Build-A-Figures when people start doing their rankings, but he should definitely be in the top 10. He should definitely be in the top 10. They did a really good job on this guy. Really good job. And now, the last person, just honorable mention, because I'm not going to even bring Doctor Strange into it, is Whistler. Wait a minute. That's not really Whistler. That's actually Old Man Hawkeye. I did that on purpose just for people to know that if you needed Whistler in your display, grab that 2-pack with Old Man Logan and Old Man Hawkeye and put a shotgun in that man's hand and he'll be Whistler. Look at it. Look at the head sculpt on this dude, man. Really good job. I don't really need an Old Man Hawkeye because I know that they're not gonna do any more characters from that storyline. They're not gonna do the Hulks. They're not going to do anything except that small little baby that they have in the 2-pack, this right here, and Old Man Logan. That's it. There's not going to be anybody else made from that comic book story, that story. So, Whistler it is. All right, so this has been another one. I wanted to go through it. This is probably a longer video, but I just wanted to go through, and since we got that Strange Tales thing coming in October, everybody's October shows for Halloween should be pretty plump. And I wanted to do a lot of the characters that we have that actually go with some Strange Tales type stuff. So I did a bunch of my occult characters for you. But like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.